Cold weather can do a number on your hair and skin, so today I've got for you your cold weather hair and beauty survival guide. Hello and welcome to the Queendom. I'm Sarah Engel and today we've got for you a hair and beauty, skin, all the stuff, cold weather survival guide. So why does your hair, your skin, your lips, just everything feel so dry in the winter? Well, basically the short version of it is cold air does not hold as much moisture as hot air. So then your furnace takes that cold, dry air, warms it up, but no additional moisture is added into the air. So now you basically just cooked all the water out of your air and it's this hot, dry air in your house and you're just like, ugh, I can't breathe. At least I'm like, ugh, I can't breathe. Last video, you saw I was in a kitchen. It wasn't my kitchen. I was in Colorado visiting Derek. While I was there, Colorado, if you're not aware, is extremely dry. It gets so dry and cold that while I'm there, I kept waking up in the middle of the night and I couldn't breathe. I took some of the things from the list I'm about to share with you and used those, and it made such a big difference. Survival tip number 1 is get a humidifier. I know we're like really jumping in to write something that requires buying something. But if you're having issues where you literally can't even sleep, it gets so dry, a humidifier, they don't cost that much. It will help with everything from hair to your skin to lips to just feeling like you can breathe through your nose. Like I used to get the worst nosebleeds growing up and sometimes I still do. Not as badly anymore. Anyway, that is another story for another time. But basically, it's putting moisture into the air. There's some things that you can do to mimic a humidifier without having to actually buy one. But if it's just in your house and you're somewhere you're gonna be frequently, it's probably worth it just to get a cheap one. For one, when you're taking a shower, leave the door open and it does allow some moisture out into the air. That's a little tip. Another one for when you're asleep at night, if you take a little bowl and fill that bowl with water and leave it next to your bed, throughout the night it will evaporate and pull some of that moisture into the air. That is something that can really help in a pinch if you can't sleep and it's too dry. Boiling water does a similar thing. You're basically putting that steam up into the air. That helps get some moisture in the air. You can also, if you're washing your clothes, let your clothes air dry. They even make little humidifiers that you can just stick into a cup that are for travel. So you just stick it into a cup of water and it humidifies the room. So if you're traveling and you have this problem a lot, especially if you know you're going somewhere dry, or if you're used to sleeping when at home, it helps your hair, it helps your skin, and it just helps make your nose a happier place. Survival tip number 2, stop licking your lips, please. You're just making it worse. The main thing I'm recommending is chapstick, you guys. Chapstick, very, very good. But I specifically, I was gonna use this fresh, oh, this is always so hard to pronounce. Fresh Sugar Rose. It might be rosé, but it's a tinted lip treatment and it also has sunscreen in it. That's just nice. It's SPF 15. It feels so nice. When you lick your lips, all of that moisture you've just put out there is going to evaporate and it's going to make it more dry than it was before, and it's just gonna worsen the problem. It's just gonna be a bad situation. They also make this little fresh sugar nourishing lip balm advanced therapy that I really like. If you want the easy version, you can get one of these little EOS egg thingies. You can see I've used this one clearly a lot. Or just good old handy dandy, where did I put it? Where'd it go? There it is. Chapstick. If your lips are severely chapped, you can do a little scrub on your lips. They make little lip scrubs and a little lip treatment you put over it. You can do that even if your lips aren't chapped, if you want them extra smooth. Survival tip number 3 is moisturizer. I mean, Okay, like everybody knows you should already be using a moisturizer. If you don't know that, please watch one of my skincare videos. I'll link to those in the description so you've got easy access to those. But moisturize not just your face, but your whole body. It'll be great. In general, most people will probably want to use a little bit heavier moisturizer in the winter than they would in the summer. Survival tip number 4 is hyaluronic acid, and that sounds really scary, but it's a friendly acid, and I talked about this in another video. I believe it's something that actually is naturally occurring in your skin, and basically it makes moisture and you hit yourself in the face. It basically draws moisture to itself. I don't know how I would have survived in Colorado without it. In fact, this in particular is called HA5 Rejuvenating Hydrator. All the stuff in it, it's incredible. This stuff is like really expensive, so you don't need this particular one. If you find something with hyaluronic acid in it, it's just gonna help you a lot though. Survival tip number 5, serums, face masks, and oils. I'm kind of lumping these all into one big category, but there's so many hydrating face masks, oils like argan oils and things that you can put on your skin maybe like once a week or so, just to give your skin that extra boost of stuff, because the dry air can be really rough on it. Number 6 is incredibly helpful for sleeping at night. This stuff, I don't even know how you pronounce it, like air, maybe it's pronounced air. It's a saline nasal gel with aloe vera. It moisturizes and soothes dry, stuffy noses, it says. But basically, you can take a little Q-tip and either put this like inside your nose or just kind of like on the outside of your nose or under your nose, and it gives this constant moisturized feel to your nose. So you can get it like this. They also make a spray. Survival tip number 7 is please, 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 absolutely not even please. I'm not even saying please, I'm not asking, I'm demanding that you wear sunscreen. Some people have this idea that just because it's cloudy and gray and cold out that you don't need to wear sunscreen. And that is not the case at all. Oh my goodness. Sometimes you actually can get more sun damage, especially if it's really snowy, because that sun comes down and then is amplified back up at your face from the snow, and it's just more light, more sun damage. There are some people out there that will tell you don't wear sunscreen because you're gonna become vitamin D deficient and you need vitamin D to live. No, 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 no. First of all, there's studies that say that that's not true. Your body still produces vitamin D, and even if that weren't the case, you can still get your vitamin D through multivitamins and things like that. And you know what? The alternative is way, way worse. Skin cancer is no joke and can kill you. Please don't let that happen. Survival tip number 8. Oh, we've gotten to a hair one for you. So you know how when it's dry and stuff, your hair can sometimes get really staticky. A thing that we used to do growing up is you can just take your brush and spray static guard on your brush, just a little bit of static guard, and then just brush, especially like the ends of your hair where it's really staticky. Static goes away. Really, really easy tip. Yeah. Survival tip number 9, we've got another one for your hair. Our hair masks and hot oil treatments, or just oil treatments in general. Anything of oils, any extra moisture, oiliness you can add to your hair can be really, really helpful.
It hurts!
You just poured hot oil all over yourself.
It hurts!
I'm sure it does, hold on. Poor Derek. If you guys actually want to see me attempting my very first hot oil treatment, you can see it in my last video, and you can also see Derek dumping hot oil on his head. Not recommended. Survival tip number 10. What am I gonna do next time? I'm gonna run out of fingers. Make sure you dry your hair before you go out into the really, really cold, especially freezing weather. And it's not because you're gonna get a cold. People think that if you go out into the cold with wet hair, you're going to catch a cold. And that is just not the case. I mean, you might, but you might if your hair is dry too. The first reason why is that we've talked about this a lot on the channel. When your hair is wet, it is much more susceptible to damage. And also, number two, you know that water expands when it freezes. If you have water on your hair shaft and it expands, it is highly likely to break hairs and cause way more damage. So just make sure it's dry before you go out, and especially like freezing cold weather. Number 11 is a nice little trick. Is if you have a hat that you like to wear, but you want it to be a little less damaging, give you a little bit less hat hair problems, is you can actually line the inside of your hat with satin or silk, and it makes it go on and off a lot more smoothly. Or you can even put like a silk scarf on and then maybe the hat on top of it if you don't want to sew any of that. Number 12 is cut down on the heat styling as much as possible. You can use a blow dryer on cooler temperatures, or you can wait for your hair to dry, but I know some instances you can't wait for it. You can use it on cooler temperatures to dry your hair. During the winter, is that if there's gonna be a time of year where you avoid things like excess bleaching, heat styling than usual, this is the time to like use less than usual. Maybe use a little bit more in the summer as compared to winter, because there is like that dry air and just so many different things. It is more susceptible to damage. So if there's gonna be a time that you're gonna be more careful with it, the winter is the time for that. And survival tip number 13, don't underestimate the power of those little hand and feet warmers. You'll feel more comfortable. You know what? You're gonna look better if you feel better, and you're not just gonna look like a shivering mess. Those little things, usually little cracky things. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sure you can Google it. I don't have one here. I have no need for one here. But you crack them and you can put them in your gloves or in your mittens or in your boots, and they keep you all nice and roasty toasty, and they're amazing. All right, so there we have it. 13 survival tips for you to keep your hair and your skin and just yourself surviving the cold weather. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other tricks or tips that you use to help with yourself, whether it's for hair or skin or just general cold weather tips. If you guys want to see more videos like this, remember to subscribe and ring the little bell if you want those to come right to you, because we put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so there's always new content headed your way. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you stay warm this winter, or stay cool if it's summer in your hemisphere. Eventually this will be relevant for you. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.
Which is both soluble and salt.
And I just feel, I like him. We'll make it moist that aren't, no, I know people hate that word. I shouldn't say it, otherwise people freak out. The M word. And now I just keep like, please tell them I hate them. I don't know why the clapping helps, but it does. Do. Is that normal? No, the answer is no, it's not normal.